In March 2020, what began as a peaceful walk in the remote Wonnangatta Valley took a dark turn when a family stumbled upon a mysterious, burned-out campsite. This eerie discovery was just the beginning of a chilling tale involving a secret affair, a brutal murder, and a suspect whose alibi unraveled under the weight of his own lies. Today, we uncover the disturbing details of the Wonnangatta Valley murders, a case that has gripped Australia and left many questioning how far some will go to cover their tracks. The Wonnangatta Valley in Victoria's high country is known for its breathtaking scenery and rugged terrain, a perfect spot for those seeking solitude in the wild. But in March 2020, this remote area became the backdrop for a grisly discovery. A family out for a walk came across the remnants of a burnt-out bonfire. Among the ashes were tent poles, a gas canister, and other pieces of camping equipment. But what really caught their attention was an almost immaculate Toyota Land Cruiser 4x4 parked right next to it. Scorch marks marred one side of the vehicle, and a cooler box, still filled with food and drink, was tucked neatly under the driver's side door. This strange scene prompted the family to call the police, who soon uncovered a shocking truth. The wallets and IDs of 73-year-old Carol Clay and 74-year-old Russell Hill, both of whom had been reported missing by their families just over a week earlier. But why had the couple's disappearance not been reported sooner? The answer lay in the secret they had been keeping for years. Carol and Russell had been high school sweethearts who had rekindled their romance in their 60s, despite Russell still being married. Their romantic getaways were always done in secrecy, and this trip to the Wonnangatta Valley was no different. The investigation. Investigating a crime in such a remote area might seem like an impossible task, but the very isolation of Wonnangatta made it easier to narrow down potential witnesses. Using roadside CCTV footage and cell tower data, police identified several people who had been in the area around the time of the couple's disappearance. One name stood out: 53-year-old Greg Lynn, an airline pilot who had recently lost his job due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Lynn had decided to spend his unexpected time off camping and hunting in the area. When questioned by police, Lynn admitted to being in the area but claimed he hadn't seen the missing couple. However, investigators grew suspicious when they noticed that Lynn's truck had recently been repainted from its original color. Over the next 16 months, Greg Lynn remained the prime suspect in what was still officially a missing persons case. During this time, covert listening devices recorded Lynn making several suspicious statements, but these recordings were later ruled inadmissible in court. The arrest. It wasn't until November 2021 that police finally made their move. They planted a story in the media featuring a traffic camera photo of Lynn's Nissan Patrol, which clearly showed a distinctive retractable awning on the roof. Just days later, a covert camera captured Lynn removing the awning from his vehicle. This was the final piece of evidence police needed, and Greg Lynn was arrested and charged with the murders of Carol Clay and Russell Hill. Lynn's testimony. In jail, Lynn initially refused to speak, but eventually, he broke his silence, providing a version of events that he would later repeat at his trial. According to Lynn, an argument broke out between him and Russell Hill over Hill's use of a noisy drone. Tensions escalated when Hill allegedly grabbed Lynn's shotgun from his truck, and during a struggle, Carol Clay was accidentally shot and killed. Lynn claimed that in the chaos that followed, Hill was also fatally injured with a knife. In a panic, Lynn said he disposed of their bodies and burned their campsite to destroy any evidence. He later returned to the scene to burn the bodies again, ensuring no trace of the couple would be left behind. The verdict. With little forensic evidence and no unbiased witnesses, the prosecution relied heavily on expert testimony and the statements of Hill and Clay's families. After 6 days of deliberation, on June 25, 2024, the jury found Greg Lynn guilty of murdering Carol Clay but acquitted him of Russell Hill's murder. Lynn maintains his innocence and has since filed an appeal, claiming the trial was unfair. The Wonnangatta Valley murders remind us that even in the most remote and peaceful places, violence can strike unexpectedly. Lynn's conviction may have brought some closure to the families of Carol Clay and Russell Hill, but questions remain. Was it truly an accident, or is there more to this story? If you found this case as intriguing as we did, don't forget to follow us on TikTok and subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, stay curious and stay safe.